Hello, Stitchy friends. It's Stephanie here, Miss Oh So Crafty. Welcome to my Stitch Mania vlog part 2. Today is Saturday, May 9th. How is everyone doing? Halfway through Mania, at least for those of us who are doing the traditional 15-day version. I've had kind of a nice relaxing day with lots of cooking. Started out with French toast, and there were cookies, and then I made a fantastic dinner, a pot roast. Used the last of my CSA produce, including the potatoes. Oh wow, they were so good. If you've never had a farm potato, it's so different than the potatoes you get at the grocery store. I mean, they taste fantastic. Anyway, so I wanted to give you my update on American Eagle Orney. I started this yesterday. So yesterday I did like 170 some stitches on it, and today I did an additional 150 roughly. So it's fully stitched now, and I did the back stitching. The only thing left is the beading, and there's going to be 6 colors of beads, and this kit is weird. It's actually like 2 instructions for 1 color bead. They want you to do some of it attached with 1 color floss and another attached with another color floss. I probably can't be bothered with that. I mean, you can't even really see the floss once you attach the beads. It's all very dense on this perforated paper, so kind of silly. But I'll do the beads when I get back to this piece in July. I just don't feel like beading this right now. Also, I mean, I need it for the July stitch along, and last night when I beaded the Teresa Wenser Celtic Cross, it was a trial, let me tell you. It was only like 50 beads, and normally, I mean, I'm fine with beading. I have no problem with it. I expected, it might take me like 15 minutes. Well, it took like an hour, closer to an hour to do those 50 beads. It was just so difficult to place each one on the tightly woven Monaco, and trying not to get the bead thread caught up in the lazy daisies, because the beads were like right next to the lazy daisy stitches. It was a pain. I'm so glad that piece is done. And now I'm supposed to work on another Teresa Wensler, my fantasy triptych. I need to get like 300 and some stitches on it to finish my Stitchy Quest for the One Ring homework. It's due on Sunday. And I think I need 200 on it or 100 on it or something for Magical Stitches homework that's also due Sunday night. So I'll be back in a little while and I'll show you that project. Hello friends, I'm back. It is Saturday evening for another 5 minutes at least. I don't know what's gotten into me, but I was going to grab my project from the bar, and I saw my sourdough discard sitting on the counter, and I was like, wouldn't it be nice to have something sweet for breakfast this morning, or tomorrow morning for Mother's Day? So I decided to make the so-called department store muffins from King Arthur Flour. These muffins are so crazy good. They straddle the line between muffin and cake, if you know what I mean. But with the sourdough starter in there, they may not be quite as sweet, but hopefully they'll have more depth of flavor. I hope they turn out somewhat of an experiment. I just took them out of the oven and they look good, but I haven't tried them yet. I'm not going to try them until tomorrow. Anyway, so here's Fantasy Triptych, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cheat. Well, not exactly cheat, but I'm just going to work on the background, the solid background around here. That should be a quick way to get like 300 stitches, hopefully in like 30 minutes or so. All right, I will check in later and show you what I've done. Bye for now. Hello, ladies, gents. It's me popping back in for my update. So it's been about 45 minutes, and I did 287 stitches with 3 long lengths of thread, all in the background here. No looking at the chart, no counting. Well, except for, I counted my finished stitches, but I wasn't like counting and stitching. Just filling in the background, easy peasy. And this is 25 count fabric stitched over 2, so 287 stitches actually, looks like something. I covered a decent amount of real estate. I needed 284 for my Hobbit Quest number 35, I think it is, my Stitchy Quest homework. Yeah, the prompt was to work on something with people, and I only saw the homework on I think it was Tuesday or something, and my Harvest Witch project counted because that had a person in it, the witch obviously, but not all my projects this week did, so I was kind of, not stress is not the word, but I was, concerned about getting those stitches because it was one of the ones where you had to roll a die to determine how many stitches you had to do, and I rolled a 9, which worked out to be 2,000 stitches, so yeah, quite a few, when most of my project this week did not involve people. But this one, of course, does, with this dude right here, the knight, and the girl over here. I added so many stitches to this pattern when I decided to do a background. I must be a glutton for punishment. I think it looks really good, though. So the background is 1/2 full cross with 37.53, and I wanted to do it with half cross, but I couldn't because the background over here is half cross. The background is 2/1 half cross, the way it's charted, and I was thinking, well, I could do 1/2 half cross for the sky, but I figured that would just be too faint, But I think the 1/2 full cross is working out really well. It's nice and quick and easy to stitch. I don't have to worry about how my thread is laying or anything like that because it's just the one strand, so it's cool. All right, I will see you guys tomorrow with my new start, and I am so excited about it. Ta-ta for now. Back to here. So it's Sunday, the 10th of May. Happy Mother's Day, everyone. I had a nice day, although kind of a long day. I got up early and went to pick up my CSA box at a local farmer's market, and then I came home, spent some time with my kiddo. I gave him a haircut, and I have no talent as a hairdresser, but it's serviceable, and he looked in the mirror and he said, not bad, so anyway, it's 10 o'clock now, and I'm getting ready to start my 4th start of Mania on this beautiful printed fabric, Ada. It's the Griffin by Riolis, and I'm really excited to start it, although I'm watching the season finale of Outlander, and so I don't know how much progress I'm going to get in. Really, I only need 50 stitches for my Magical Stitches homework, my last task, so I'll be happy with that. All right, I will check in later and show you how far I get. Ta-ta for now. Hello, friends. It is Sunday evening, very early Monday, well, not really that early Monday morning. It's 2 a.m. or so. It's really late. So I started out watching the Outlander season finale. It was a doozy. Oh my gosh. Parts of it were just brutal, very difficult to watch, but overall it was extremely well done, with lots of wonderful acting, and it was a fitting finale for the season, I'd say, and kind of bummed out about it. Now we're in Droughtlander, and who knows when we'll get season 6, which was greenlit, but normally they'd be filming now, but they're not because of the whole COVID stuff, so who knows how long Droughtlander is going to last. Oh well, nothing we can do about it. So I started the Griffin. The Phoenix is the one I stitched a few years ago. Yeah, I started the Griffin at the middle, up here, right around there in the pattern, and I stitched this bit of the wing and then worked the same color. So this is a blended color. I stitched that down through the hind leg of the beast down to its claws, foot at the and then I started working on the shadow underneath. So I did most of the stitches on the shadow, and my game plan is basically to finish the shadow and then to work back up this leg, filling in the rest of the colors, and then go into that wing and do the this big wing, which is probably like the bulk of the pattern. I mean, that would be like probably half of the stitches at least. But I doubt that I'll get, all that done during Mania. We shall see. And then tomorrow I'll be working on a whip. So just a brief overview of how I do Mania is for each new start, I have one day that's dedicated to it. And if I work on my new start more than one day, it shares time with older whips. So this start here is my 9th project of Mania. It's my 4th new start. So at this point I have 4 more whips to do and 1 more new start after this one. So lots of good things ahead. All right, I will see you guys tomorrow. Ta-ta! Hello, my dears. It's Stephanie, Ms. Oh So Crafty. Today is Monday, May 11th. How is everyone doing? It's been a pretty good day for me. I didn't really get started on stitching until pretty late because I was spending a lot of time with my kiddo and cooking dinner and stuff. I made a really nice dinner. Started with a sourdough discard pancake with scallions and ginger and garlic and a little dipping sauce of soy and hoisin sauce and a little sriracha. Oh, it was so good. And then we had like a sweet and sour stir fry over brown rice. Anyway, so that's kind of a good segue into my sourdough starter. I think it was Gabri. Thanks for watching, Gabri. She wanted to know about my sourdough starter, and I don't want to get real into it because it's probably not of general interest, but I'll just say that I followed the method on the kitchen blog, and that's kitchen without an E. I will link it below. 2 things. I highly recommend a digital scale if you're doing the sourdough thing. Just makes things a heck of a lot easier. And they're not expensive. You can find one for like less than $20 probably. I have one that I originally got for yarn a long time ago. Still works. The second thing is about the water that you're feeding your starter. So one thing is temperature. You don't want to feed your starter super cold water because that will slow down its growth. You don't want to feed it super hot water because that will kill the natural yeast. The other thing about the water is that if your tap water has chlorine in it, which a lot of tap water does, including mine, that will also inhibit and kill the yeast. Something I figured out after I had my starter for about a week and it just wasn't all that active. So I started doing a little research and I learned the thing about the chlorine, and I started using filtered water or spring water or whatever that was not chlorinated, and that was a game changer. What I do now is I just get some filtered water from the fridge and I let it come to room temp. I just put it in a container and let it sit for a while, and then I use it to feed my starter. Another thing you could do if you don't have a filter is you could just pour the tap water into a pitcher or something and let it sit on the counter for an hour or 2, and the chlorine will evaporate into the air, and then you can use it to feed your starter. Alright, so here's my progress on the Griffin by Riolis. I have been working on the shadow underneath the animal, and I'm pleased to tell you that I've finished the shadow. I've done like 360 stitches in addition to the 440 roughly that I did last night, and I'm happy with that. It's like 800 stitches, and my goal is to get like 1,000 probably, so I'm well on the way. Sorry for the shaking. I'm touching the frame and the Lowry is jiggling. Yeah, so what I'm going to do now is pull out my Cathedral Woods Goddess and put in like a thread or two, see how much I'm into it. I wouldn't mind coming back to this piece and doing a little bit more on it tonight, but it is pretty late. It's like 11:30 or something, so we shall see. All right, I will check in later and show you what else I do tonight. Ta-ta for now. Hello, I'm back. So here is Mirabilia Cathedral Woods Goddess. This is on Ametrine Cashel by Silk Weaver. Sorry for all the park threads. This is the very bottom of the chart, and what I want to do is work on the leaves and stuff that are over here, and hopefully do like the bottom corner of the chart, get down to the very bottom, which is about 10 rows below here. I'm playing Stitchopoly, and I passed go again with my progress on the Griffin. So I landed on Frosted Pumpkin, which is just 60 stitches. That's my goal. I'm going to do 60 stitches and then go back to the Griffin. All right, I will, hopefully that'll only take about half an hour. All right, I'll check in and show you how far I get. Ta-ta. Hey there, so wanted to pop in and give you a quick update before I hit the sack. I did a slightly more than 60 stitches, more like 100 maybe, because I wanted to get to the bottom of the chart. So I worked with this copper Krynic, and I brought in a new color of Krynic, which luckily I had in my stash. It's 102C, this gold Krynic, so I did those stitches, and a couple rows there, and these rows down here. I am pleased to report that this row here actually is the very bottom row in the chart, so that's good. It's the lowest point of the chart. Yay! And now I can start working back up and filling in a lot more, but not tonight because it's time to hit the sack. So good night, see you guys in the morning. Hello my dears, Stephanie here, Miss So Crafty. So today is Tuesday, May 12th, and it's about 9:00 p.m. I needed a little time to like rest after dinner. It was a pretty intense dinner. We had a leftover pot roast with popovers that I made tonight. Oh my gosh, the popovers were so good. This is the first time I ever made popovers. I used the sourdough discard popover recipe on the King Author site, and I used a muffin tin because I don't have a popover pan. And they rose so high in the oven, like 2-3 times the height of the muffin pan. It was awesome. And they were so tasty with the roast and the sauce and everything. Oh wow, it was a delicious meal. Kind of on the heavy side though. The popovers, the batter is liquid, but it involves 3 eggs, for 6 popovers, so it's not exactly a light treat. But they're good. Anyway, so here is my Griffin, and I did work on it some today. I did like 400 and some stitches. This darker color here, this dark brown, and that bit there, and the yellow, 2 different shades of yellow. You can't see all 400 because I messed up and I had to frog about 75, so yeah. I started doing this yellow, which is the very front of the beast, because I started working on my Stitchy Quest number 36, and the task is to do 100 stitches for each of the drawers in all these various colors, and there's 2 of them that are yellow, so I needed like 200 yellow stitches and so forth. And I like this because you can see that the Griffin's toes are gripping the edge of the cliff, and I think that's cool, just like he's about to like take off and start flying. I like that, so that's nice. And then this bit up here is like a claw. So this is the hind leg, and that's the beginning of the tail, and this is another leg. I guess that's probably one of the hind legs too, I think. I have to look at the picture. Let's see. Yeah, these 2 are hind legs, and oh yeah, so this one, the one leg is lifted, so this is from the leg that's lifted, and that's the other front leg is gripping the cliff edge. So yeah, I'm looking forward to working on this more tomorrow and basically filling in the rest of this leg probably. At this point, I don't think I can do anything else on this project for the Stitchy Quest homework, and I'm done with the Magical Stitches homework, so I probably will just, stitch whatever part of it I want to stitch. No concerns in that arena. But I do also want to work on a whip today, and the one that is scheduled is Gingerbread Grove. I'm pretty excited about that because I just love that whip, and plus I can use it for some of the more of the dwarf colors. I'll be right back and I'll show you that piece. Okay, I'm back. So here's Gingerbread Grove by Glendon Place on a Picture This Plus Cashel and Haven. My favorite sky blue. The color here is pretty good. I don't have my OttLite on at the moment. The OttLite tends to desaturate color, so the color is a little bit better without it. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is work on this page over here. So I'll probably use this thread here and fill in some more white on the pathway. This is actually the Oyster Krynic, and I will probably do the gingerbread couple if I can, because I need some stitches in red and green. So yeah, I will pop in a bit and show you how far I get. I guess at the minimum I'm going to go for like 300 stitches, so we'll see. Alright, ta-ta for now. For my update before I hit the sack. So I've been working on this for a couple hours and I got 438 stitches. I started over here with the path and this thread, which is Krynic number 555, Oyster Krynic, reasonably close to white. Did about 100 stitches in that, and then I did these stitches over here for the lollipop, just basically as a counting aid. And then I did these stitches in the dark green for the gingerbread boy, about 100 of those, and these stitches in the red for the gingerbread girl, about 100 of those. I came up here and worked on this tree, which is actually the furthest right element in the chart. Or actually that's not true, I guess. I think this is the furthest right. Anyway, okay, so the lighter greens, about 100 of those, and then up here I filled in the silver on that lollipop and this one, and then I did the silver on the kiss down here. So there's going to be 2 kisses down here, a silver one and a gold one, and then candy canes crossed. I think it's a red one and a green one. And that's pretty much it for the pattern. Of course, I have to do the rest of this gingerbread couple. It's like a full-on cookie, not just outfits. So I'm pretty pleased with that progress. Be a good opportunity to show you some of the detail in this chart. I love this copper Krynic that I use for the pretzels, 215C copper core, and it's so pretty and sparkly. It's really gorgeous. It's a pain to work with though. It's a very stiff thread. I adore the kisses. I think they're so cute, and I was so tickled to see that there's gonna be more kisses down here. It's funny because in terms of like food, I don't really enjoy Hershey Kisses. They just taste a little salty to me, and I'm more of a dark chocolate girl. But I really like them on this chart. So happy with how this is coming out. I can't wait to work on it a lot for Christmas in July and hopefully finish it. There's really not that much left, so at this point what I need to do is finish this little path here with a Krynic, and then fill in all the empty space on this house, which is mostly the same thing, this white Krynic, the Oyster Krynic. A couple more pretzels up here. The rest of the gingerbread couple, the kisses, the candy canes, the rest of this tree, and then bead the whole thing. And there are a lot of beads on this, like 10 colors of beads, but it's mostly like filling in, so it shouldn't be too bad. Like, it should go pretty quickly, I think, the beading. And I enjoy beading, generally speaking. I mean, notwithstanding my Teresa Wenser Celtic Cross, beading that was a ridiculous chore, but beading this I think will be a lot of fun. So there's the big house. So sparkly, so pretty, so detailed. I love it. I like the windows, and I love the little stairs and the door. The dormer here is so cute. And the roof is awesome with the little Necco candies, each of them outlined. The donut holes. Adorable. I love donuts. And there's the pretzels, and the little reindeer are so adorable. There's 2 of them there, and then 1 of them here. I think this little house turned out pretty sweet as well. I love the little chimneys. I think the chimneys are adorable. Oh yeah, this chimney needs more work too. There's some dark... Oh yeah, there's more dark brown stitches to do in this house over here and like on top of the chimney. And I think up along the side as well. So, yeah, most of the stitching left on this, unfortunately, is shades of brown. Dark brown, medium brown, really light brown, orangey brown, whatever. But at least I'll have the kisses and the candy canes to do. That'll be fun, because the candy canes, I think there's 1 red one and 1 green one to do. And the rest of this tree, of course, that's all greens, so... Although it does have a brown trunk at the bottom. The trees are going to have a beautiful stars on top, like beaded stars. Really looking forward to that. That'll be fun. I think they all have the stars. Yeah, they do. They all have the stars. And these lollipops are going to be filled in with beads. That'll be fun. All this area on the house will be filled in with beads. A lot of this, well, some of it will be filled in with Kreinik, the rest will be filled in with beads. The heart on the door will be red beads, I think. That'll be cute. That'll be really cute. And I'm really looking forward to stitching the rest of the gingerbread couple. They're kind of holding hands, and the girl is also holding an ice cream cone in her other hand, and that's perfect because I love ice cream. Ice cream is, if I had to choose one dessert, just one dessert, I'd probably choose ice cream. I really love ice cream. My favorite is mint chocolate chip. Although I do really enjoy like a coffee ice cream and peanut butter ice cream. I like Fish Food by Ben & Jerry's. That's like chocolate with caramel and marshmallow. I like Rocky Road. Yeah, I love ice cream. And donuts. My favorite donuts are apricot filled. I actually made some from scratch not too long ago in the air fryer. They turned out so fantastic. Oh my gosh. I should do that again, although maybe not. It's bad to bake all the time. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not good for my waistline, you know. Anyway, yeah. All right, I better go to bed, so I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one. So it's May 13th, and I didn't really intend to work on this anymore, but I looked at my numbers and I realized I forgot to account for the stitches I did in silver last night in my count. So I was over 500, and I realized I could use it for one of my tasks in enchanted stitching, but I didn't want to count the red stitches because I might need that for a different task, so I wanted to do some more stitches today. So I did 88 stitches just in the past like half an hour or so, and I just worked with the park threads. I did some of the oyster Kreinik in the path. I did the rest of this pretzel. I did the rest of this little gingerbread guy's overall shorts, and that was it. So I decided today is going to be like kind of a crazy whip rotation. I'm going to bring out my Twilight Bridge piece and try to do another 100 stitches so I can post that for the Enchanted Stitching Challenge. And my whip of the day is actually Toy Story cast, which I'm looking forward to. So I probably won't have time to do very much on it though. I might do like a thread, and then I don't know how much time I'll have for the Griffin, we'll see. But I really want to knock these goals out, so that's my plan. Alright, I will pop back in later and show you how far I get on Twilight Bridge. Or maybe I should show you what it looks like to start, because it's not been a part of this vlog, it was part of my last vlog. I'll be right back. Hey there, so I'm back and with Twilight Bridge. It's on the frame, sorry you can't see the whole thing, but I'm kind of trying to hustle because it's pretty late in the day. I'm just trying to get this done before dinner, which will be reheating. I have tons of leftovers in the fridge. But it's been a long day without any stitching time because my husband was very busy today with work and stuff, and my kid was a little testy. So anyway, my goal is to get 100 stitches on this, and very quickly, which means the full cross, because the half cross doesn't really, it only counts for half, and it doesn't go any faster than the full cross really, because there's like 5 strands in the needle. So forget that. I'll just do the regular full cross with the 2 strands over, you know, 1 Aida square. This is 18 count Aida. And I'll probably work in one of these brown colors on the, oh man, I hear my kid yelling for me. Mommy, mommy, mommy. Never ending. Okay, I better go see what he wants, and hopefully I can come back soon and do 100 quick stitches. Alright, see you in a bit. Bye. Hello peeps. So it took about half an hour and I got 115 stitches, all with one color, this orange color, sort of a lightish orange, all in the windows, starting over here, and I did those stitches, those stitches, those. All that up to 115, one long strand of floss, well technically 2 strands. See, this is a kit, all the strands are pre-cut, so I like to do the loop start, but if I take a single strand and double it over and, you know, use it as a loop, I don't really get too many stitches out of the length. Maybe 45, or if I'm really lucky, 50, and I prefer to get more than that. So what I do is, if I have a lot of stitches to do, I'll just take 2 of the long strands and I will knot them at the bottom and use the knot as the bottom of my loop. So I'm effectively taking the 2 long strands and making them into one super long strand, and I can get well over 100 with that way. And sometimes people get all freaked out about knots. I don't. I'll show you on the back what I'm talking about, why I don't get freaked out about knots. So here's the stitches I did. Do you see a knot? I don't. The knot is very small. It doesn't create any bumpiness or anything like that, and the knot is not, it's never going to come loose because it's not being pulled against the fabric. The knot is only being used as the bottom of the loop, so it's only the pulling against the floss. It's not pulling against the fabric. And yeah, no biggie. The back of this piece does look fairly atrocious because of the confetti and the way I stitch the, but I don't worry about it because it looks great from the front, and when I'm done with this, I'm going to frame it. I'm never going to look at the back. So, yeah, everything is copacetic. Alright, it's probably time for me to cook dinner, although things are really quiet from upstairs, so I'm wondering if my kiddo fell asleep. I'll have to see. It would be very early for him to fall asleep if he did. It's only about 6 o'clock. But it's been a day. In any case, after dinner, I intend to work on Toy Story cast and the Griffin. All right, I will see you in a bit. Ta-ta for now. Hello, I'm back. It's still May 13th, about 10 p.m., and I am about to start working on my Toy Story cast, just for a little bit. I need to do like 100 stitches in blue for my Stitchy Quest homework, so I figured it'd be a good opportunity to work on Woody's jeans, which are like right here. I can start it like right there, work it up, and then do the other leg. I would like to finish this dude, Captain Zurg, but he still needs the rest of his like helmet and the horn, the rest of the collar, but I don't think I'm really going to worry about that tonight. I do want to get some more time in on my Griffin, so I'll be back in a little while and show you what I've stitched. Ta-ta for now. Hello peeps, so here is my update on Toy Story cast. I worked only with this thread, which is DMC 798 denim blue for Woody's jeans, and I did one leg starting where his boot would be beneath that, and I worked up to his stomach area and did the belt buckles. I got a little carried away. I only needed 100 stitches. I wound up doing 215 just because I was enjoying it and I wanted to get done all this fiddly bit around like the belt buckle and all that. And also I had landed on the Paul Levon space playing Stitchopoly, and it was 330 stitches required to get off. So I had done 115 earlier on one of my other whips today. I can't remember which one. I think it was the Twilight piece. And then so I needed another 215, and I did 216 because that's how it worked out with the rows. So yeah. So these threads dangling. The yellow is going to be Woody's shirt. He's wearing like a yellow button down with this black is part of his cowhide vest. The green is part of Rex. You can also see it stitched down here. So Rex he'll be right next to Woody. You'll see his face, and then you see his belly all over here. Like you'll see it between Woody's legs and so forth. And yeah, and then Rex is pretty much the edge of the page. The other edge of the page is round up over here. The horse, just like his head really. So after this page is finished with Woody and Rex, I think what I'm going to do is move over to the right and stitch round up, and then move on to the next page, which is like round up and Jessie, the Prospector, etc. So, and Porky. Porky, I think actually Porky might be on a different page. This is a pretty big chart. Alright, I'm going to work on my Griffin now for a little bit, so I will see you back in a while. Hello ladies, gents, Stephanie here, popping in for my final update on the Griffin. So this is day 4 in the Griffin. I did 420 stitches tonight. Overall, over the 4 days, I managed 1657. A respectable start. I need to figure out how to fit this into some of the Enchanted Stitching Mayhem challenges, because it's a good chunk of stitches. I could knock out a couple things, probably. And I haven't used this at all for that piece. So what I did tonight was I started working in the back hoof here, or claw, or whatever it is, and I filled it in, and then I just worked up the color, worked up the leg, adding color by color. That is gonna have a little bit of back stitching on it eventually, I think. Gosh, I really need a working copy of this chart. It's this massive color page. Yes, it is gonna have some back stitching for the toes, for the claws. It's this massive color chart where the colors don't match with the actual colors, because the chart is extremely colorful, but as you can tell, it's mainly shades of brown, so And what I would normally do is take this to Staples and make a photocopy for personal use on one of their color copiers. But I don't even know, is Staples open these days? I'm not sure. My area is on lockdown because COVID cases keep rising, and the rest of the state Commonwealth of Virginia is doing a slow reopening, but the governor has announced that more restrictive measures will apply to Northern Virginia, where I live, because the virus is more prevalent here, more densely populated and stuff. So I'm not far at all from DC. Anyway, so this is, it's interesting to stitch. I think it's a beautiful, gorgeous pattern. Let's look at the design. But stitching in browns is not really my favorite thing to do, so I think it'll be good to get this, like the body, out of the way first, because that's mainly the browns. And there is a lot of brown in the wings, but at least there's some other colors as well, so it's not like all brown. That'll be good. And the head, of course, is mostly white, or, you know, white, yellow, those kind of shades. So, and in the meantime, with all the browns, it's definitely this gorgeous fabric that keeps me going. I just think this is so pretty and majestic. Really incredible scene printed on this fabric. I like this fabric even more than the one I stitched the Phoenix on. The Phoenix was more engaging of a stitch, though, just because of the rainbow colors for me. I love stitching rainbow colors. So it's really late. I should hit the sack. It's just, it was a long, frustrating day in some aspects, and I needed some stitchy time. So and now my husband's texting me, it is bedtime, come on up. So tomorrow, a new start, my last start of Mania. All right, see you then. Ta-ta. Hello peeps, how's everyone doing? Today is Thursday, May the 14th, and we are looking at what will be my last start of Mania. So it's going to be Comet by Nora Corbett. I will insert a photo. This is 32 count opalescent pewter Belvis by Picture This Plus. I do have the middle mark with a counting pin and a bowhin 28 parked on the side there. I decided to work on the reds, which these colors here, because I'm starting on the villain task for the Enchanted Stitching Mayhem, and the task is to do 1,000 stitches in colors to represent your chosen, the villain of your chosen movie. My chosen movie is Tangled, and the villain, Mother Gothel, wears a dark red dress in the movie, so I'm saying represented by red. My goal is to get 1,000 stitches for that, plus 500 for a different prompt. I only have 2 days to work on this, though, so that's kind of a heavy lift. 1,500 in 2 days, I'll see. I'll try. I mean, also, tomorrow, in theory, I'll take out a whip. Or maybe I'll just extend Mania a few days. We'll see. All right, I will check in later and show you how far I get. Ta-ta! Coming in for an update. Let's pretend it's still May 14th. So here's my day one progress on Comet by Nora Corbett. I started with the red colors, the pinks and all that. I did 450 some stitches, and I did the, sorry, I've got my little booklet here. And yeah, I also did the variegated water lilies color. You can see some of it is like a dark maroon and other parts of it are green, but I counted that as well. You can see the green stitches above the bow, that's part of it. And then there's some of the darker stitches that were transitioned into the darker maroon, and that's also all around the bow. And then I started working with 839 just because I could. It was close to the red stitches, so, and it's used extensively throughout this piece. I got a total of 863 stitches, and last night I was all like, oh, I'm so close to 900, but it was late and it was time to turn off the light. So anyway, it was a good start, and I really like it a lot. All right, I will see you guys later with my activities for May 15th. Hey friends, so today is May the 15th, and I'm starting on my 15th project of Mania, my whip Rapunzel by Joan Elliott. So my plan is to do 100 stitches in the gray that I have parked up here for the stone columns, because I need to finish my dwarf homework for Stitchy Quest for the One Ring, and then I'm going to remount the thing and go down to the bottom and start back stitching in the gold on her braid, because I need a certain number of stitches in gold as well. So that is the plan, and then later I will show you my day 2 progress on Comet, which isn't much because I really didn't need much, but I'll talk more about that later. All right, till then. 104 stitches in the various gray colors for the last dwarf, Ori, who's gray. It took a while because I'm doing the King Arthur Recipe of the Year skillet pizza, and it's like an overnight dough thing where you prepare the dough the night before and you do the stretch and fold technique, which I love, but this one's kind of annoying because it's only like 5 minutes between, so you do your stretch and fold, then you wait 5 minutes, then you do another. So I just stuck up there in the kitchen for like, that 40 minutes, keeping one hand, like not touching anything with one hand, because I didn't want to have to like wash my hand 10 billion times. Anyway, so I'm going to remount this thing on the bars and start working on the metallic. So I'll be back in a bit. Hello again. So I remounted Rapunzel in the frame so that the bottom side is, well, available. And I'm going to be working in this gold metallic 3202 Kreinik. It's like a gold, it's called Cat's Eye. And it's long stitches all through the braid to give it some texture, I guess. And for the task, the very last task in the Stitchy Quest homework, it's to do, I think it's 87 stitches if you're using a metallic in the gold. So these are going to be straight stitches, back stitches, or whatever. So I'll be going for twice that, so around 170. So I will be back in a bit. Hello, my dears. Let's pretend it's still the 15th. It's actually the 16th now, but what else? So I stayed up really late last night backstitching Rapunzel, and I can tell you that I did over 300 backstitches in the gold metallic for her braid. Isn't that lovely? And there's a lot more to do. However, then I just started backstitching the rest of it in the DMC 898 as charted, and I don't really know how much I did because I'm charting my own backstitch, and I wasn't really counting while I was going along. I was watching Glee and laughing hysterically at parts, and yeah. Anyway, I think it was overall, including the 300 here, I'm going to say that I did like 1,000 because I think I did. Yeah. I also did more with the gold for the curtain, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. I think that the gold definitely jazzes up the curtain, but over here especially, there's all these like little patterns that are backstitched on it, like a floral pattern almost, like within the curtain, and I don't know about that. It seems like it could get awfully busy, but I think I just need to get more into the curtain and look at it overall, just, to make a judgment call as to that, because I have barely even started the curtain. There's a heck of a lot more of it to do. As for the brown backstitch in the dress, I charted my own because the way it's charted is the stair-step method, and I just don't like that for the Joan Elliott fancy ladies, or any fancy lady really. So yeah, the older Joan Elliott charts, she will have the nicer backstitch, and when I say nicer, I just mean in my personal, aesthetic opinion, on the lady herself, like her face and her hands and all that, but then the rest of it will be the stair-step method, and I think stair-step is fine for some things, like I'll do it on my, like, Stony Creek ornaments or whatever, but I just don't like it for this sort of chart. I think it's too fancy, and I think the stair-step method just kind of takes away from the loveliness of the design. It takes you out of the beautiful rippling of the fabric and the points it comes to, and the crispness of the folds and the dress. I think that turned out really beautifully. So I'm pleased with it, and I do intend to work on Rapunzel a lot more for the rest of May and do as much as I possibly can. So let me show you Comet now. So here is Comet. This is approximately 1,020 some stitches, less than I had initially planned for. The plan was to do 1,000 stitches in these red colors and then do another 500 for a different task. But I don't know what I was thinking when I looked at the chart. There's nowhere near 1,000 stitches. I only got like less than 500, I think, in the red colors. So at that point, I just posted that for the villain task, those 450 stitches or whatever it was, and started on the Flower and Garden song task, which asked for 500. So this is all for the Enchanted Stitching Mayhem Challenge. So the task was stitch on something that reminds you of a song, and in this case, you know, Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen, Comet. Yes, Comet. Yeah, so I just needed another 500, and that's what I did. So yeah, I just worked with the two brown colors that were prevalent in the chart. The darker one is 839 and the lighter one is 420. It looks pretty funny, but it just needs a lot of fill in, I guess. This is the hind leg, and there's the rump. He or she will have a cute little tail, and that's the head actually, and the little ear. That's pretty cute. That's the cutest part, I guess, other than the bow and everything looks great, but the reindeer itself looks a little funny, except for the ear. That part looks good. I'm pleased with this. It's a nice start, respectable, 1,000 stitches, and it won't take very much effort to finish this. I look forward to working on it a lot for Christmas in July, and probably getting it finished then. Alright, so that's it for phase 5 of Mania. I think I'm going to keep this vlog going for a few days, though, just to show you more of Rapunzel, since I do love that project so much, and it'll be fun. Alright, I will check in later. Ta-ta for now. Hello, Flosstube friends. Ms. Oh So Crafty here. Today is Wednesday, May 27th. How's everyone doing? So this is going to be my last update for the vlog. I said that I would pop in when I had something to share, and I finally do. Finally done with my monogamous stretch on Rapunzel. I gave her 11 days in all and 6,420 stitches. So when you last saw, I was down here at the bottom working on the back stitch I did the little metallic bits in the braid to give it texture, and then the floral pattern on the skirt, and then outline the layers of her garments in the dark brown. And then I did some of the gold back stitching on the curtain over here and here. So after that, I came back up here to the top, and I worked on the window frames around here and the curtain rod. Everything except for the very top, because the way I had it mounted in my scroll frame, that part was not accessible to me. And when I had done all I could to get over to like around there, I came over here and started working on the curtain again. I had tons of threads parked at the midline right about there, so I started with those, and then I kept on working out. The curtain is just 3 colors of, well, there's white and then 2 colors of blue. And I love the transparent effect of the curtain. You can see the window frame under it, which I think is really awesome. So I worked the curtain all the way up with the help of a gridding line, which I have since ripped out. You can see a little hole in the fabric there where I kind of yanked to pull it out, but that will heal as this project sits for a while. Like a week or two before I get back to it probably. So I stitched the curtain up to the curtain rod basically, and I did this window frame over here. Same deal with the top. Could not stitch the top because it was hidden under the scroll. And then, well, I finished this tree business here, and I did more of the eggs. I put in the darkest color. And I worked with the threads I had parked here. So it's a little bit of a few shades of pink for her sleeve, and then a little bit of green for the belt, pinky purple. And then I parked the green thread up here because there's like a empire line or something with the greens. And then I did a little bit of the yellows, the golds for the braid. So it's definitely coming along. What's left would be the bluebird over here, and there's a little bit of blue to fill in on her skirt. I think I'm going to do a few fractional stitches along here because I don't like how I did the best I could with the back stitch line, but I just think it needs a few fractional stitches because I'm a perfectionist. Anyway, and then of course the rest of Rapunzel, her upper body, her face, the rest of her hair, and then this little bit of window frame at the top there. And then all the back stitching on the top side. So more on this curtain here, and the bird's nest, the bird itself, and the eggs and nest and everything, all that is back stitched to the nth degree. There's a lot more back stitching to do in this curtain over here. And of course there will be lots of back stitching to do on Rapunzel herself, her shirt and her face and her hair and all that. So, and then there's beading. So my plan for this is to finish it next month in June. I plan to give it 5 days. Hopefully that'll be enough to finish. What I'm thinking is 2 days to do the cross stitching. That would be like the bird, Rapunzel herself, and the top of the window frames. I think that will do. I mean, it's really not that much stitching, maybe like 1,200 or so. I can probably do that in 2 days. And then 2 days probably to back stitch the top. And then 1 day for beading. So hopefully that will work. I think it's definitely possible to finish this in June, and that will be good because that was my deadline for the Semi-Sane Once Upon a Fairy Tale challenge. And they're coming up with another 6-month challenge starting in July. It's spooky projects, and I'm considering doing a new start of a spooky project so I can participate in that. I really like these 6-month challenges. I think they're very motivating. So this is a big project, Rapunzel, and I think if not for this challenge, I definitely wouldn't have gotten as much done on her as I have since I started her in January. So yeah, it was great. So I also want to show you Fantasy Triptych because I worked on that last night. I did 780 some stitches for the background, the sky. This is just DMC 3753, 1 strand over 2 threads in the fabric, full cross. I did almost all of the sky on this page. It's just missing that little bit in there and this little bit here. I'm pleased with that. I got over 1,000 stitches total, and that's what I needed for the Mayhem challenge. So the challenge was to work on something that related to a sidekick in your chosen movie, and my chosen movie is Tangled. One of the sidekicks is this white horse called Maximus, and this piece also has a white horse or unicorn or whatever. So yeah, so I got 1,000 stitches, and I am pleased to report that I am almost done with the Enchanted Mayhem challenge. I have 1 more to finish. That's the red one. I need 1,000 stitches in shades of red, so maybe I'll work on that today. And Fantasy Triptych will coming out again next month. I love working on Fantasy Triptych for Wine and Whips because if there's one project I whine about, it's this one. Alright, that's it for my mania. It was a really good mania. Overall, I got like over well, during the first phase, when I was doing the daily rotation, I got like 11,000 stitches, and then added to the Rapunzel Monogamania stretch, that was like probably 18,000 in total, 17,000, somewhere around there. So I'm hoping to get 20,000 total for the month of May. We shall see. I'm pretty close, and I have a few more days. All right, I just want to thank everyone for watching, and thank you so much for your comments and your likes and your support on Instagram and Facebook and everything. I really appreciate the social media interaction, especially in these days where we've been stuck at home, or at least I have. All right, everyone, take care, be well, be safe, and be kind. And I will see you probably around mid-June for a regular update. Ta-ta!